Hello everyone, Haley Zeidman here. I am your resident wellness guru biohacker, and I wanted to come in here today to share my tips on how to break a plateau or how to accelerate your fat loss, because this is a fat loss body composition transformation challenge that we're all doing here. And so it turns out that when you want your body to lose weight, sometimes it can be the culmination of a lot of things. Hi Katie, sometimes you're adding in product and that's probably making some positive changes, but maybe you're still stuck. Maybe you need to up the ante product wise, but maybe also you need some lifestyle adjustments. So that's where this presentation comes in, because it's definitely wonderful, so good to feed your body all the right things, but sometimes there's something else going on that maybe you're just not counteracting all the way with the product, because there's some bad input in there that you need to remove. And so that's where this comes in. So product wise, there are definitely things that can really accelerate beyond the 3 steps your fat loss. And so that could be something simple. Some of my top tips are, consider the upgrade patches. Hey Kirsten, consider the upgrade patches. So we've got the DFT Ultra. That's our fasting mimicking patch. It really helps you to feel full and then helps trick your body into thinking that it's fasting. So that can really accelerate your weight loss, really helps with that satiety. I really enjoy, hey Jeanette, I really enjoy that patch in particular. That's my go-to. There's also the Burn Duo patch. That's the one that looks like a puzzle piece. It's 2 patches. It really helps with your energy. It's got exogenous ketones in there, so that puts you into fat burning mode. And it's specifically designed with multiple ingredients to help with fat loss. And so that's another great patch. I would say most of my clients that use upgrade patches use that Burn Duo patch. And so people just really love it. And so that's something to consider. There's this product, Sculpt. Sculpt is, these are capsules that you add in with your step 1. And they're really, really super high quality aminos. And that can really help you build muscle and then lose fat as well. And then something that I've recently added in is this Recover, because I'm working out a lot more. And I also tend to get a lot of aches and pains. I've just had this sordid health history with lots of surgeries. I used to be in the Army, lots of residual aches and pains from that. And so this can help your muscles heal and just help with that general discomfort situation. And it's got a lot of ingredients, super high quality protein right here. And it is whey protein, but normally I'm bothered by that. My system is completely bothered by it, but not in this case, because they've removed a lot of the impurities in this formulation. And so you're only getting the pure protein right here. And so that's really helpful. And it's the same aminos that you're getting in the Sculpt product, just additional here. And so that's the Recover product. That's from the newly launched Thrive Fit. Tastes like chocolate cream. It's delicious. So that's one of my favorite things. And I've really seen an acceleration in my ability to build muscle, because if you're on a fat loss journey, a great strategy is to put on muscle, because muscle, it burns fat much more quickly than not having muscle. So, and then the last thing is that I really love to add an additional shake. So that, I do that in the morning. I actually take 2 shakes a day, and it really helps me with my mental health. Definitely have some mental health struggles. That additional shake helps with that. And then it helps with the protein. So that shake has 15 grams of bioavailable pea protein, but it's 84% absorbable. So you're getting double that dose, and that really helps, as well as all the gut support. So that, you need to have a healthy gut to lose fat, and you need to be able to put on that lean muscle. So that's product wise. Those are some of my tips. Upgrade patches, Sculpt, additional protein, and an additional shake to help with that. And then the Balance product. I know I've done a whole presentation on this. So what else can we do though? So what do we have to look at in order to really accelerate it? Lifestyle wise, right? So diet wise, I'm a big advocate of the paleo diet. So not a fan of anything that's processed. And so, when I look at my clients, we look at what they're eating, really high quality, grass-fed meat, grass-fed beef, chickens that are pastured, butter from grass-fed cows, and vegetables, lots of natural food. I know, Jeanette's like, so many things. There really are so many things. And I'm just going to do a quick overview of all the things. But if we're eating, anything made in the factory, even if it seems healthy, even if it's labeled so it looks like it's really good, you got to really look at the ingredients. Are there fillers? Are there additives like guar gum? You'll see that in a lot of your fake milks. And I'm not an advocate of actual milk either. So paleo doesn't advocate milk. But I don't bother with the fake milks either unless I can get like the coconut milk in the can without any kind of fillers like guar gum. You'll see in a lot of your fake meats just filled with fillers. So you want to avoid that. That's going to cause sluggish digestion, and it's just really hard on your body. Your body does not recognize that, and that's not conducive to fighting systemic inflammation, which you need to dial down systemic inflammation in order for your body to be able to release fat. So Jeanette says, do all the things and fat and inflammation go away. Jeanette is living proof of this. She's doing a program where she's really managing inflammation from multiple aspects, and she's just lost a ton of weight this month because of that. Her body's just releasing fat because she's dialed down that systemic inflammation so much. She's completely overhauled her diet. And it's really amazing to see. Okay, so diet-wise, really just keep it simple, keep it ancestral, and that can really help. But also you need to look at, I'm a big fan of definitely eliminating gluten. Go down that road if you haven't gone down that road yet. It can cause just a cytokine storm, can cause rampant inflammation, especially if you're sensitive to it, can really undermine every single aspect of your health. So it takes about a week to clear a lot of it out of your system. And so if you just eliminate it for a week, you'll get a pretty good idea if you really need to get that out of your system. And really 100% of humans, it can weaken your gut lining because of a hormone called zonulin when you consume gluten. And so it really is, so I'm a big advocate of just everybody getting it out. But if you want to see if you're really struggling with it, if you really absolutely have to, then it can take about a week. And Jeanette says, all the products and supplements help. Oh, the supplement. Yeah, it is. And that's my story, is that I was doing all these things right, but I still needed the support from from the supplements to really bring me to the next level. And to really just help support my system. And when I finally added in the supplements, I lost 7 pounds in a week. It was, and the fat really started coming off, and I was really able to transform my body composition. So the supplements can be the missing link, those nutritional gaps that we talk about. But here we go. So back to food. So you want to get out anything that you think is irritating your system. So let's say, where do you start? Start with gluten. Grains are not an ancestral thing. They have storage problems. And this is the main reason why I advocate eliminating grains from your diet, is because the way that they're stored, it's conducive to mold being grown. And mold is a mitochondrial toxin. So it's a mitotoxin. And so that inhibits the inflammation that your cells can produce. So about 25% of us are super sensitive to this mold. And the rest of us are just kind of sensitive to it, but it's not good. So it's going to be causing inflammation to some degree. So that's the argument against grains, besides that they're not ancestral, but it's mainly with regards to the way that they're stored. And so that's why I'm a big advocate of just, all the grains, especially if you're really trying to make an impact on your fat loss. You want to get anything with that mold in it. And that includes your rice, your oats, your just anything that's stored like that. So they did an analysis of cereal that you buy in the store, and I want to say like at least 50% of it had mold in it. So it really is rampant. So food-wise, get the grains out, get the gluten out, get anything processed out, and that will be helpful. You want your ingredients to be super high quality, what you're consuming. I'm also a fan of, you got to really watch the fats. So a lot of people will miss this piece of it. And they don't realize that you need to be consuming healthy fats. And so when you're, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So a lot of people, they're advocates of, oh yeah, Jeanette says ghee. Yeah, I'm getting right into that fat. So you'll hear like bad guidance, like, you know, canola oil is heart healthy. That's advertising stuff. Canola oil is what we call PUFA. So PUFA is that polyunsaturated fats, and those are prone to oxidation damage. So they're prone to oxidation, so they can be damaged very, very easily. And so they're best to be avoided because you want your fats, the fats are the building blocks of your cellular membranes. You want your fats to be very, very stable. So I know this is anti what we've heard all our lives, but saturated fats are the most stable fats and less prone to that oxidative stress and damage. And so you want your membranes to be made up of fats that aren't damaged. And so what is that? That's your ghee, your grass-fed butter, avocado oil, coconut oil, and if I'm missing any, let me know, guys. But those are the ones I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Macadamia oil, so some of your quality nut butters. Olive oil is good, but as long as you haven't cooked with it. So if you want to dump olive oil, that's a monounsaturated fat. If you want to dump olive oil onto your salad, perfect. Studies show there's a lot of benefits with that. But if you're starting to cook with it, it's more easily damaged than these saturated fats. So you want to be cooking with a very stable fat, a saturated fat, and then just avoid PUFAs altogether. I'm talking about your canola oil, your soybean oil, what else? Your vegetable oil, your run-of-the-mill vegetable oil. So if you're eating French fries, they're almost always cooked in vegetable, soy, or canola oil, and those fats are damaged. A lot of times they're rancid. You just want nothing to do with that. I heard an interview with Ben Greenfield. He's a prominent biohacker and athlete, and he was talking about what would he rather have, a bunch of sugar or damaged fat. And he said, yeah, I'll take the sugar because I know I can burn through the sugar, but the damaged fat is going into my body, and that's what my body will be made of. And so those damaged fats stick around. So you really need to get those damaged fats out, and then they can cause inflammation, and then they're just less than ideal building blocks for your body. Okay, so I think I have covered overall a dietary philosophy that I think is beneficial and that I use with my clients. And I think that if you do this, then you will see a decrease in inflammation. And one last thing on diet is that if you do have a leaky gut, which a lot of us do, certain foods that you're eating can be irritating your system, even though they're technically healthy foods like broccoli or, for example, I'm very sensitive to vanilla and macadamia nuts, and I was able to discover that eventually by eliminating certain foods, and then I eventually took a food sensitivity test to test what my immune system was reacting to because I was having systemic health problems. So that's next level stuff, but if you're really having a lot of problems, it may be worth it. Feel free to comment if you want more information. I'll probably just post it in the comments about food sensitivity testing that you can do. But really, a lot of the problems can be solved just by dialing down the basics: grain elimination, getting rid of those PUFAs, gluten elimination. You want to get rid of things. If you find that you are sensitive to gluten, also explore cross-reactive foods like Jeanette says it's so worth it. Oh yeah, I would never eat gluten because I react to it and it just completely destroys my health. Cross-reactive foods to gluten, that means that they have proteins in it that can mimic the effects of gluten, are dairy, your nightshades, and anything else? Corn can do that too. And soy. So if you find that you're sensitive to gluten, you would probably want to take the rest of that out as well. Okay, so food-wise, that's just a brief overview of that. Light. Okay, so there's a thing called junk light, and AKA blue light. So some of you may have heard of it, some of you may haven't, but basically what the blue light does is, in that spectrum, is it tells your body through your photoreceptors in your eyes that it's high noon whenever you see that light. And the blue light is the kind of light that's coming off your LEDs, it's coming off your computer screen, that's what's coming off your cell phone. So you're checking your cell phone at 6 a.m., your body's thinking it's 12 noon. You're checking your cell phone at 9 p.m., your body's thinking it's 12 noon. There's different hormones that are happening at 12 noon than there are at 6 a.m. and at 9 p.m. And so when you are exposing your body to that inferior source, or not, it's not inferior, we call it junk light. It's really hard for your eyes to deal, and your body and your mitochondria, where your energy is produced within your cells, to deal with junk light. And so, so your body's having to, we call it an energy vampire. So your body has to dedicate a lot of resources to that, but also it's messing up your signaling. So there's a certain amount of hormones that need to be produced in the morning when you're exposed to morning light and that morning sunlight. And you only have a certain window to produce those hormones, and then that's it. You're not gonna get those hormones that you need to produce for the rest of the day if you're not getting the morning sunlight, and then also if you're disrupting that with blue light. So blue light's best to be avoided throughout the day. And so I recommend all my clients block blue light. You can get an orange screen for your computer, and or you can turn your phone to night shift. You can also get these blue blocking glasses. Here we go. Oh, I think I need to clean them. But those are very helpful. But I'm actually a big advocate of getting the whole screen to cover your computer screen and having your phone on permanent night shift mode, because you also have photoreceptors in your skin, and the blue light actually makes you wrinkly too. So that's no good. So if you're staring at a computer screen all day, it's gonna be affecting your collagen production. So that is not good as well. So the last thing with blue light, the reason why it impacts fat loss, not only because it's an energy vampire, so your body is dedicating resources to dealing with blue light instead of cleaning up the cells, managing inflammation, and getting rid of fat, but also the signaling that you get from that. So it's telling your body that it's high noon. What do you do what do our ancestors do at high noon? They eat. And so if you're looking at blue light at 9 p.m., you may get the idea that it's time to eat. And if you're really struggling with cravings, get the blue light out. And, but really guys, I mean, especially our kids these days, or if you're struggling with mental health, we really need to look at the blue light situation for everybody in our family. I can't stress the importance of that enough. Okay, so what's next? Movement. So the way that you're working out, definitely look at that. Number one, you're working out, you should be doing some kind of HIIT as well as weights. You want to be doing HIIT training, high intensity interval training for fat loss. Why? Because it creates an afterburn. And so when you're doing just long cardio, endurance training, you're really just burning the calories. You're burning some calories, but you're really just burning through your glucose. But there's not an afterburn, which puts your body in a situation where it's burning calories for much longer. And then also it's helping you to put on muscle and make those adaptations that make you more lean. So, and then same with weightlifting. You can do weightlifting in a manner where it also counts as HIIT. It's called super slow training. Definitely look into that. But it's going to help you put on that lean muscle, which is going to help you burn more fat. So if you really want to make inroads on your movement, do HIIT and weight training, as well as, let's say you're sitting in front of a computer all day, you're going to want to break that up. So every 15 minutes, if you can stand up and sit back down, or every hour, just do 2 minutes of some kind of movement. That's going to really help you as well. You don't want to be just sitting interrupted all day. Let's see, what else? Fasting. So if you're ready to bring your whole game next level, you really want to get your eating pattern back into an ancestral pattern, right? And so a lot of times my clients will find huge breakthroughs with intermittent fasting. So what does that look like? There's lots of different schedules. I could do a whole live on intermittent fasting. But I like to work everybody up to at least 16-hour fast, and your sleeping counts during this time. And then you have an 8-hour eating window. If you're already doing that, you can even work it up and make a 6-hour eating window. But basically the philosophy behind intermittent fasting, there's a lot of philosophies, but there's a lot of information there. But the philosophy is that it takes a lot of energy to digest food. So if your body's constantly digesting food, it's not going to be focusing on things like fat loss. And so when we follow a more ancestral pattern, and I actually prefer that everybody eat in the morning. And then stop their eating in the early afternoon. because studies show that people lost 25% more weight when they ate at an early schedule as opposed to a later schedule. So when they ate earlier in the day. But that said, let's say you're just not hungry, you're just not wired to be eating in the morning. It's fine. Just do, move your fasting window to a later period, and you're still going to get some benefits. So most people, I recommend they just do a daily fast and just limit the window that they're eating, and that really helps with people who struggle with overeating and nighttime eating and nighttime snacking, because it's just not time to eat. But I have other clients that will do like one 24-hour fast a week, and then some people even do a 60-hour fast every quarter. So that is all very, very helpful. It helps your body get into fat burning mode. It helps your body prune out some of the dead cells. Some of the damaged cells. It's called, and it helps your body just get rid of any kind of damaged cells, any kind of unproductive cells, and it can really accelerate your fat loss. I started fasting about, I want to say 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. And I was really struggling with some post-baby weight. And within the period of about 3 months, really, I made a huge difference just by adding in that fasting. So that was the only change that I did right there. Okay, what's next? So sleep. If you are not sleeping 8 hours, you are not maximizing your weight loss potential. So even they've done so much research. Check out the book Why We Sleep. It's by a sleep expert doctor, and he's really compiled all the research. But it turns out they even did studies about people who slept 7 hours a night as opposed to an 8-hour sleep opportunity. And those people that were sleeping 7 hours a night, in one of the studies,